I've been thinking more about the cult of the tree. What sort of cult refers to themselves as a cult?
Alan Wake 2. This is the game that should have been crowned Game of the Year, but somehow it wasn't. And if you haven't played it yet, you're seriously missing out on one of the best psychological horror experiences ever created. Remedy Entertainment took everything that made the first game a cult classic and cranked it up to 11. The eerie atmosphere, the mind-bending story, and the haunting soundtrack all come together to create an experience that's not just scary, it's unforgettable. You play as Alan Wake, a writer trapped in a nightmarish reality, and FBI agent Saga Anderson, who's investigating a series of ritualistic murders. The dual protagonist system adds a whole new layer to the storytelling, making you question what's real and what's fiction. And the way Remedy blends live-action sequences with in-game visuals, it's next-level immersive. The gameplay? Absolutely refined. The flashlight mechanic returns, but this time, combat feels more intense, strategic, and cinematic. Every encounter is a test of your nerves, and the psychological horror elements will keep you on edge from start to finish. So why didn't Alan Wake 2 win Game of the Year? Well, it faced some brutal competition. Baldur's Gate 3 took the top prize, and let's be honest, it deserved it. That game redefined RPG storytelling and gave players insane freedom in shaping their journey. But Alan Wake 2, it's still a must-play. If you love a gripping story, a dark and immersive world, and horror done right, this game is a masterpiece that should not be overlooked. Bloodborne, one of those games that leaves a mark on anyone who plays it. Released in 2015 by From Software, this PlayStation exclusive took the Souls-like formula and injected it with fast-paced, aggressive combat, a gothic horror setting, and a story that gets darker the more you dig into it. The game throws you into the cursed city of Yharnam, where the people have fallen victim to a mysterious blood-borne disease. Your job? Survive the nightmare, hunt terrifying creatures, and uncover the horrifying truth behind the healing church and the great ones. And trust me, the deeper you go, the more disturbing things get. The combat in Bloodborne is something else. Unlike Dark Souls, where you rely on shields, this game forces you to stay on the offensive. You dodge, parry with your firearm, and unleash brutal combos with trick weapons that can transform mid-fight. Every battle feels like a dance between life and death. And the bosses? Absolute nightmares. From Father Gascoigne to Orphan of Kos, every encounter is unforgettable. But here's the crazy part. Despite being a masterpiece, Bloodborne didn't win Game of the Year in 2015. It lost to The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, which, let's be honest, was an absolute beast of a game. The massive open world, deep storytelling, and incredible side quests made it an obvious winner. But does that mean Bloodborne is any less of a must-play? Not at all. If you love intense combat, deep lore, and a game that rewards skill and patience, Bloodborne is a journey you can't miss. It's one of the best PlayStation exclusives ever made, and a true gem in From Software's collection. So, if you haven't played it yet, grab your saw cleaver, step into the nightmare, and prepare for one of the greatest gaming experiences of all time. God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarokone, of the most epic games ever made. Yet it didn't win Game of the Year. Sounds crazy, right? Well, let's talk about why. Ragnarok takes everything we loved about the 2018 God of War and cranks it up to 11. More brutal combat, more jaw-dropping visuals, and a story so emotional it hits you right in the heart. Kratos and Atreus go on an unforgettable journey through Norse mythology, facing gods, monsters, and their own past. The character depth. The stunning open-world design and the intense boss fights make every moment feel larger than life. But despite all this, Ragnarok lost the Game of the Year award to Elden Ring, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. Elden Ring brought an open-world experience like never before, giving players ultimate freedom to explore and discover secrets in a way that changed the industry. It was fresh, massive, and incredibly innovative. That doesn't mean Ragnarok isn't a masterpiece. It absolutely is. The storytelling is top tier, the combat is satisfying, and if you're a fan of action-packed emotional adventures, this game is a must-play. It may not have won Game of the Year, but for many, it's still one of the greatest games ever made.
Pleasure to know you better.
Ghost of Tsushima, samurai, honor, and an open world so breathtaking it feels like a painting come to life. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best samurai games ever made. But why didn't it win Game of the Year? Let's dive in. Set in feudal Japan during the Mongol invasion, you play as Jin Sakai, a noble samurai forced to abandon tradition and embrace the way of the ghost stealth, deception, and guerrilla warfare. The world, absolutely stunning. From golden forests to misty mountaintops, every corner of Tsushima Island feels like a piece of art. The combat, a perfect mix of fluid swordplay and strategic thinking. You can fight with honor or strike from the shadow sits, your choice. But despite its brilliance, Ghost of Tsushima had tough competition. The same year, The Last of Us Part 2 took home Game of the Year thanks to its emotionally gripping story and next-level storytelling. While some fans disagreed with the decision, there's no denying Ghost of Tsushima left a lasting impact. In fact, the game was so loved that it got a director's cut edition and even inspired a live-action movie in the works. If you haven't played it yet, you're missing out on one of the most immersive samurai experiences ever created. So, grab your katana and step into the legend of the Ghostess is a must-play. Death Stranding. Why Death Stranding wasn't Game of the Year? But you must play it. This is the game that divided the gaming community like never before. Some called it a masterpiece. Others called it a walking simulator. But one thing is for sure, this game is an experience like no other. Created by the legendary Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding throws you into a hauntingly beautiful post-apocalyptic world where you play as Sam Porter Bridges, a courier tasked with reconnecting what's left of America. But here's the twist, you're not just running around delivering packages, you're surviving. From terrifying invisible creatures known as BTs to rough terrain that can send you tumbling down a cliff. Every step in this world feels like a battle. The visuals, breathtaking. The story, deep, emotional, and filled with mystery. And let's not forget the all-star cast, featuring Norman Reedus, Mads Mikkelsen, and even Guillermo del Toro. But despite all of this, Death Stranding didn't win Game of the Year in 2019. That honor went to Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, a game praised for its fast-paced sword combat and insane difficulty. Compared to that, Death Stranding felt too slow for some players. But here's why you must play it. This is not just a game. It's an artistic vision that challenges how we think about gameplay, storytelling, and connection. If you love deep narratives, immersive worlds, and unique experiences, Death Stranding is a journey worth taking. So, are you ready to brave the rain, escape the BTs, and uncover the secrets of this world? Let me know in the comments, will you play Death Stranding? Or is it not your type of game?
If you're still with us in this amazing gaming list, then you're a true gamer. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's move to the next game.
Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. All right, let's talk about one of the most cinematic, action-packed, and visually stunning games ever made, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. This game took everything great about the Uncharted series and cranked it up to 11. A gripping story, insane action sequences, mind-blowing graphics, this was a PlayStation masterpiece. But guess what? It didn't win Game of the Year. Instead, that title went to Overwatch in 2016. And while Overwatch was a cultural phenomenon, let's be honest, does it hold up today like Uncharted 4 does? Uncharted 4 was the perfect send-off for Nathan Drake. We got a deep and emotional story about his past, his relationships, and the one last adventure he couldn't resist. From heart-pounding car chases to jaw-dropping set pieces like the Madagascar chase sequence, this game was pure blockbuster entertainment. And let's not forget the dialogue and performances. Troy Baker and Nolan North delivered some of the best acting ever seen in a video game. Now, Overwatch was fresh, fast-paced, and had a strong multiplayer focus, which made it incredibly popular at the time. But looking back, while Overwatch's shine has faded, Uncharted 4 still stands as a must-play experience. It's an emotional roller coaster with gameplay that keeps you on the edge of your seat. If you've never played it, do yourself a favor and dive in. This is one of those games that proves why single-player, story-driven experiences will never go out of style. Trust me, you won't regret it.
No blimmin' way could have survived that.
Why chance it?
Damn it. That's not good.
Holy shit!
Alien Isolation. Let's talk about one of the scariest survival horror games ever made, Alien Isolation. This game doesn't just make you jump, it makes you sweat, panic, and rethink every move you make. Set in the terrifying world of the Alien franchise, this game puts you in the shoes of Amanda Ripley, the daughter of the legendary Ellen Ripley. Your mission? Survive aboard the Sevastopol space station, where a deadly xenomorph is hunting you. And trust me, this thing does not mess around. Unlike most horror games where enemies follow a set pattern, the xenomorph in Alien Isolation is unpredictable. It learns your tactics, adapts to your playstyle, and always keeps you on edge. The AI is so smart that hiding in the same spot twice? Bad idea. Running? Even worse. Every creak, every flickering light, every shadow plays with your mind, making you feel like you're truly being stalked. Now, you might be wondering, if this game is so amazing, why didn't it win Game of the Year? Well, it had some tough competition. In 2014, Dragon Age Inquisition took the title. That game was a massive open-world RPG with deep storytelling and huge battles. While Alien Isolation delivered on horror and tension, Dragon Age had more mainstream appeal with its grand fantasy world and epic adventure. But here's the thing, Alien Isolation is a must-play. It may not have won Game of the Year, but it won something even better: a cult following. Fans still talk about it, stream it, and relive the nightmare over and over. It's a game that truly understands horror, not cheap jump scares, but the kind that stays with you long after you've turned off the screen. So, if you haven't played it yet, what are you waiting for? Just be careful where you hide. The xenomorph is always watching. Marvel Spider-Man 2018. Marvel Spider-Man 2018, one of the best superhero games ever made. Insomniac Games delivered an absolute masterpiece, making us feel like the web slinger himself. From the smooth web swinging to intense combat, this game had everything a Spider-Man fan could ever ask for. New York City was alive. Every swing, every rooftop runit felt real. The way Peter Parker's personal struggles blended with his superhero duties made the story gripping. And let's not forget the boss fights. Mr. Negative, the sinister six pure chaos and adrenaline. But despite all its greatness, it didn't take home the Game of the Year award. Why? Because 2018 was a crazy year for gaming. It had to go up against God of War, which completely redefined storytelling and combat in gaming. That game was simply unstoppable. Still, Spider-Man 2018 is a must-play. If you haven't experienced the thrill of swinging through NYC or the emotional highs and lows of Peter Parker's life, you're seriously missing out. With a story that tugs at your heart and gameplay that makes you feel like a superhero, this is one game you can't ignore. Red Dead Redemption 2. If you've ever wanted to live the life of a legendary outlaw, riding across vast landscapes, hunting, robbing, and making choices that shape your journey, then Red Dead Redemption 2 is the game for you. Released in 2018 by Rockstar Games, this masterpiece was a massive hit, delivering one of the most immersive open-world experiences ever created. The details, insane. Every town feels alive, every NPC reacts uniquely, and the world constantly evolves around you. You play as Arthur Morgan, a rugged outlaw caught in the dying days of the Wild West. The story, emotional, deep, and full of choices that actually matter. It's not just about shooting and robbing train sets, about survival, loyalty, and the cost of freedom. The game's attention to realism is next level. Your horse needs food. Your guns need cleaning. Your decisions have real consequences. And let's not forget, the visuals are absolutely breathtaking. Whether you're riding through a snowy mountain or watching the sunset over a dusty desert, it feels like you're inside a living painting. So, with all this, why didn't Red Dead Redemption 2 win Game of the Year? Well, it had some serious competition. God of War. Kratos and Atreus stole the spotlight with their emotional journey through Norse mythology, giving PlayStation players an unforgettable experience. But here's the thing, many believe Red Dead Redemption 2 was just as worthy, if not more, for the award. It wasn't just a game, it was an experience. A story-driven epic that pushed the limits of open-world gaming. Even though it didn't take home the top prize, this is a must-play, no matter what kind of gamer you are. Whether you're here for the action, the storytelling, or just to get lost in one of the most detailed worlds ever made, Red Dead Redemption 2 is an unforgettable journey. If you haven't played it yet, what are you waiting for?
Oh, look at this one coming back for some more. We sure. Shit. Show Mr. O'Brien what we're ready for.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the list, make sure to subscribe and come back for more epic gaming content.